Good afternoon. It is Wednesday the 3rd of June and this is Flosstube number 7. Good afternoon. If you are new here, thank you for joining me. Hopefully I will keep you entertained for the next 25 to 30 minutes. My name is Sharon. I'm a cross-stitcher and small business owner here on the east coast of Scotland. It is a bit of a dreary day today, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll take it as it is. It means I've got more time for stitching. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for joining me again. Hopefully you've come in to see how my whips are progressing. My old, new, restarts, old starts, whips and finishes. It's all happening here. There's a little bit of haul. There is a giveaway winner to announce. There's a little bit of something in the magazine. And yeah, just a whip update. So first and foremost, I think I'm going to do the giveaway winner first. I did a giveaway last month for reaching 400 subscribers, and the giveaway was for this lovely Letty Stitch chart. It's a chart pack, never opened, still sealed, and we had quite a few entries. So I spun the wheel and forgot to record it, but I have taken a screenshot of it, so I'll enter the winner here. So a huge congratulations. If you contact me either on Instagram or on the email below, then I will get this on its way to you. So that is giveaway winner done. We could put that aside, and here comes the Flosstube itchy nose. What is that all about? If you're new to watching Flosstubes, I guarantee every one of us gets an itchy nose. I don't know if it's the lights, maybe it's the bright lights, who knows? So next on my list is the World of Cross Stitching magazine. Why, you may wonder? Well, I reached out to a couple of cross stitch magazines and asked, if there was any slots to do a little article about my little business or a chart or a design or something. You've got to try these things. One magazine didn't get back to me at all, and the other magazine did. And this magazine is my favourite one anyway. I subscribe on the Pocket Mags app, so I get it every month, but this one I ordered in paper format because look, they're my little mousies. This little thing here is about my little mousies, so that is in the magazine. So I'm absolutely thrilled to bits with that. It's not Vogue, but for a cross stitcher, that's our Vogue. So there we go. I just thought I'd blow my own little trumpet for a wee while. So I shall pop that aside. And it came with this great keyring, little wooden keyring. So I'll be stitching that up. So that is my claim to fame. What's next on the list? Right, last month I watched lots of Flosstubers. Absolutely love Flosstube. I watch that more than what I watch normal telly. I just don't watch normal telly now. I'd rather watch Flosstube. And I enter as many giveaways as I remember to. And I entered and I won Stitchy Bug Sarah's giveaway. And it was for these nudge clip frames. So it was a set of extension rods and a whole clip frame. So absolutely thrilled to bits with that. And I also got a Stitchy Bug exclusive sticker, much coveted. So there was that. And then I loved these frames so much. I've tried Q-snaps before, didn't really get on with them, found them very difficult to put on and off, but these nudge ones are fantastic. So I went in search of more. I thought I'd like to stock them in my little shop, and I'd also like to have more of them for my own projects. And they are sold out everywhere. So I found one store, a store that I visit all the time, stitcher.co.uk, and they had a few in stock, and they had the orange ones. But I'm not fussed. Orange, pink, purple, I'm not fussed. So I ordered them, and I also ordered a few flosses. So Postie comes to the door, run down the stairs, nearly break my neck, opens the door. Postie says, you might want to check this package. It's been opened. So I had a look and the nudge frame was missing. So hard to come by that they're even getting pinched out the post. So she said, I would recommend that you don't accept this delivery and we will parcel it up and send it back to the supplier and they will sort it out from there. So I was like, okay, I could see my threads, the threads I needed. I could see them. They were in the palm of my hand, but they had to be taken away. So anyway, I contacted, I think it's Emma at stitcher.co.uk, and I said, look, I'm really sorry. This is what's happened. It is on its way back to you. I'm sorry I've had to do this. And she said, that's not a problem. It is what it is. She said, but you will have to wait till it comes back to me before I send it out again, because it's the last nudge extension rods there are. I can replace the frame, thankfully. So I was like, okay. So checking the tracking on Royal Mail, as you do, and it eventually got back to her, and she spun it around and sent it straight back out to me. So well done, Emma at stitcher.co.uk. I always like to shout out when I get good service. So yeah, so I absolutely love these nudge frames. I will try and stock them in my shop eventually. I'll check just on the status when I finish here. Anyway, that leads us into whips, since you've already had a wee sneaky peek. So I've only worked on 4 whips, but I have got some starts and finishes as well. So one of my little starts and finishes, this little dude. This is my little squirrel nutkin. And he's got a wee pal. He's got his wee red squirrel friend, Oakley, so I'll get him stitched up too. And I found some fabulous fabrics, so I can make them into little cushions. It's got all sorts of conkers and chestnuts and acorns and that on it, so I will make them into little cushions eventually. So that is that one. The next finish on my list, I showed this last month. It was a design I charted, but I had to wait on the threads coming from stitcher.co.uk to finish it. But they're here now, and I got it finished. Sorry, that was just a little bit of Stitcher rage there. Not directed at the company, just things happen. So that is that. That is all stitched, and I will get that framed. I think it should go in a 12x6 frame, if I can find one of those. So yes, not only do I design, I'm also a poet, and I don't know it. Now, next start and finish, I don't normally get involved in SALs. Stitch along, start along, whatever you want to call them. I'm probably one of the very, very few floss tubers out there that's not stitching a Lola Crow, because I have commitment issues. I wouldn't finish them. I know I wouldn't. I have a million other things I want to stitch for me and for my family. So getting involved in a big SAL, it's just going to take up stitchy time. However, Deborah from Tempting Tangles was doing a little SAL. It was only 75 by 75 stitches, and I thought, I could do that. Even I could do that. And I have done it. And I have finished the whole SAL before the whole SAL is even finished. Because it was a repeating pattern, I just took it upon myself to finish it. And I've embellished with a few little buttons as well. So yeah, I have finished the SAL before the SAL has finished the SAL. And I'm absolutely thrilled with it. I inherited some variegated flosses from my neighbour a few months ago, so I was just using them up. Some of them are discontinued colours, and I thought, I'm just going to make it up as I go along and just do that. I love stitching Quaker designs. How therapeutic are they? So that is that. So that's 3 finishes this month. And speaking of Tempting Tangles, I am also stitching Quaker in Scotland. This is where it was at last month. And this is where it's at now. Turn it the right way up. I have stitched all these little Quakers up here, filled in the water and Nessie. And I love how it looks like the light is hitting the castle here. But yeah, I absolutely love that. That has had a good amount of stitching this month. So that's that one. Then next is my Time Traveller from Joan Elliott. Love stitching this design. And I've actually, because I've got a subscription to Pocket Mags, I can access all the magazines, and I've actually sat for days going through them all and bookmarking all the Joan Elliott designs. And there are loads. So I will get more done eventually. So this is where she's at now. So we've got our little flags on our suitcase and some of her little skirt. And I've had a look in my charm box, and I think I have a little pocket watch charm and some keys, so when I'm finished stitching her, I will embellish her. As you've already seen, I do like to stick buttons and charms on things. So she is a joy to stitch. And I think Kat from Catkin and Lily has got this one in her to-do pile as well. So it'll be interesting to see what colour combo she comes up with. So that is Time Traveller. Then Alice. My Alice one from Letty Stitch. This is where she was last month. And this is where she is now. So I don't think loads of stitching. I think just more of her hair and maybe her bow. But yeah, she's coming along really nicely. I love stitching on her. And the hair, when you see all the different tones in the hair, it's so nice. And of course she's in my nudge frame. And the orange nudge frame was for my Bailey boy. Now Bailey boy, or Bailey, he's just Bailey, we called him a million other things. I started stitching him on an oatmeal 14 count because I wanted it quite a good size so I can make him into a cushion. I then wasn't keen on the 14 count, I thought it was a bit gappy, so I then restarted it on an 18 count, and rather than starting the centre, I started on the outside. And it just was never growing. It seems to be thousands and thousands of stitches and just nothing much really happening. So I've went back to the original. I went back to the original oatmeal fabric on the 14 count, and it's really not as bad as I thought it was. Only problem is I reset it all in Pattern Keeper rather than just install a new version. So I had to go back and I had to mark all the stitches. But yeah, I've been working away down here on the foliage and his little nose and his eyes, and I can just see his cute little face coming together. We sadly lost him in 2018. It doesn't even seem that long ago, but wow. Yeah, he was a real character, honestly. I don't think he realised he was a dog. He didn't like other dogs. He thought he was a people. So yeah, that is Bailey boy. So loving stitching on him. And that is it for whips. My other whips haven't had any attention this month at all, but it has only been 2 or 3 weeks since my last filming, so we will see. Now on to haul. Yep. Now, Nikki from Nikki Nuts Crafts keeps talking about Vinted. Vinted. And so I had a look. And I bought some things. And wait till you find out the price I got these for. So all 5 of these came as one order. There is Catch the Wind. Then there is Queen Anne's Lace. Then there is, now what is she called? Lady Clare. And Nantucket Rose. I love this one. How well would it just go next to the Rose of Sharon? And then there is, upside down, the Quilt Maker. And these are all sealed in bags. They're not marked or anything. All 5 of these for £6. Just £6. Plus obviously the Vinted fees and postage. But that is fantastic for all 5 of these, because some of these charts are just going for silly prices. So I was thrilled with that. So that's my little Vinted, which I really need to stay away from. Although I do have a few things listed on there myself to pay for other things. Anyway, chart-wise, I bought this one last month and I haven't started them yet because I thought I would try CXC threads, because it is quite a large design and there's quite a lot of black and navy. So I went in search of CXC and I found these on Etsy. I'll leave the supplier below. I'm not stitching it all in CXC, just the flosses that have lots and lots. So I think this is the equivalent of 6 or 8 skeins, and they're already cut. So they're already cut, ready to go. So that is the 2 most popular colours, and there's also a handful more. So I went on to Talking Dog Stitchery because I'm in the Weeks Dye Works Club. I do get free postage, but she also had CXC threads for just 15 pence. So I've ordered quite a few of the higher count ones. So they'll be coming in shortly when the Weeks Dye Works threads come in as well. So looking forward to starting Elvis this month, because it's my hubby's birthday tomorrow and he's an Elvis fan. And next year is the 50th anniversary of Elvis's passing. So I'd really like to get it started and finished in the year. Now, the only other chart I bought this month, now I think it was Stitchy Bug Sarah. She was going to do a start along for the magpies from the Needle Lot Designs book that you can have a look. It's all over Flosstube at the moment. But I didn't want to buy the whole book because I've got enough going on. But I really liked the magpies. So I went to Needle Lot Design's website to see if maybe they did just the chart on its own for downloading. But they didn't. So I went onto Amazon and they had the Kindle version. And I thought, oh, that might be a way. It was a lot less expensive. I could just use the chart I need. Job's a good one. No. Downloaded the Kindle version and it was rubbish. It was just not compatible with Kindle at all. You just couldn't see it. You couldn't read it like a book. You couldn't see the patterns at all. It was just awful. So I got a refund for that. So I'll not be stitching the magpies. Maybe if she releases them individually, I will. But I can't justify another book like right now. I have books. I don't need another one. I certainly don't need to start along, stitch along, what have you. But I was on the Needle Lot Designs website and I found this. Now, if you've watched my videos a while, you'll know I have a thing for playing cards and Alice in Wonderland. I don't know what it is. I've no idea, but I do love playing cards. And I think it comes from when I was growing up. My dad was a huge country and western fan, and there was always a song on the radio. I can't remember what it's called. If I can find it, I'm going to put it here. And it was about playing cards, and it kind of told a story going through all the different playing cards. So I just think I've had an obsession since then. And I play cards every day. I play solitaire on my computer every day. So yeah, I do love playing cards and Alice. So this is it now in the to-do list, beside everything else. Then, there's not a lot haul. I've been very well behaved this month. So if you've seen previous, you'll know that I keep all my flosses in here. And I had the Pip and Chip foam pads to keep them all nice and tidy. But because I was using cardboard bobbins, they just weren't going right in. They were just getting a bit scubby and a bit rubbish. So I decided to invest in the big chunky ones from Pip and Chip. However, to buy all 500, you were about £180, and I can't justify that right now. Well, I could just sneak it in the door, pretend it's something else. I don't know. But I could, but I didn't. I didn't, because Pip and Chip, the lovely Debbie at Pip and Chip, sells them as a subscription. So you can get a little box every month that gives you 42 bobbins. And she does have a list. What did I do with my list? She does have a list that tells you which ones you get every single month, so you can prepare. Now, my first box got a little bit confused and I got October instead of May. But I bobbinated them anyway because it makes no difference. But I did drop Deborah a line just to say, I'm out of sync, just want to make sure we get back on track. So she was like, yep, no problem, all sorted. So I've now got May and June ready to be bobbinated. Much more manageable. I think if I bought all 500, they would just languish in a box somewhere. It would just be too overwhelming. But at least this way, once a month, it's like, here you go. You can do this. There's only 42. So I sat yesterday and I organise all my flosses into their months. My husband came in the room and there was just floss everywhere. It was hung in here, sitting in there, piles. Yeah, it made sense to me, not to him. So I've organised them. This is May. So this is a mixture of floss and ones I already had bobbinated. So I will sit them early, maybe tomorrow afternoon, and bobbinate them. And then I've got June's ready as well. In fact, they're all ready to go. And I've got new inserts because the chips are wider, but they look so much nicer. So much nicer. And it gave me a good chance to go through all my threads to find out which ones I have and which ones I don't. And I was really surprised to find that I'm only missing about 70 to have a full set of DMC, which is just amazing. And I guarantee the next project I kit up will have at least half of those 70 in it. So yeah, so I've marked them all here. Because I'm a Virgo, I like to organise. Give me a highlighter pen and we're good. So the orange ones are ones that are in floss as they come. The yellow ones are ones that are already on bobbins. So I would just check these off as I go. October's in green because I've already done that. But yeah, it gave me a good chance to have a sort out. So I will have that full. And I've also got all these ones as well. These are excess from kits or just end of bobbins that I've just filled up here. So I always go to these first before I take anything off a floss or a bobbin. So I've got these all numbered and recorded so I know what I've got. They all sit in a lovely line just along here. So very well organised. I think bobbinating was designed with a Virgo in mind. So I think that is it for my haul this month. And I have done giveaway, I've done whips. So all that's left to tell you about is my new designs for this month. So these have been in the works for quite a long time. And I don't normally do backstitch in my designs. But because I wanted to make these smaller, more manageable, I had to have backstitch. But I haven't done the whole around everything like you used to get in the 90s backstitch. So this is a set of 7 charts. You get them as all one bundle. And it's the farmyard. So here we go. We've got Cornfield Cat. We've got Boris and Doris just driving poor little Shep around the bend. I don't know who's ended up in the pen. Then we've got Big Red. Then there's Hamish. He's not a fan of the bumblebees. And then there is Scared Crow. His little pumpkin pal. And then we have the farm shop. And I think my most favourite thing most of all is those tiny little chickens. How cute are they? And then I put them all together in one big sampler. So you get all 7 of them in one great big bundle, whether you want to stitch them separately or as one. They're there. They're on Etsy and also on my website. And I think that is all for this month. If you are watching and you're not subscribed, please, please, please hit that button. I will do another giveaway when I hit the big 500. I'm just going to have a sip of my fruity tea and probably start bobbinating once I put everything else away. So stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, keep stitching, enjoy the sunshine while we have it, and enjoy the cooler weather if that's more your thing, because it's definitely mine. And I will see you all hopefully in 2 weeks. I am going to start doing the 2-week thing if I've got enough to talk about. Who knows? But yeah, I shall see you all in a couple of weeks' time. Take care now.